Today we will be focusing more on the tasks. So, um, so when you start, so broadly, when you will start your professional life, right? Everything that you will have, uh, so broadly, everything that will come your way will be about tasks, right? So, depending upon whichever role you work in, be it technical support or customer support or any other role for that matter, uh, your team and people around you will be assigning you certain tasks to do. In different scenarios, these tasks can be known as incidents. Tasks can be known as some modules that you have to work on. Uh, but overall, uh, how you perform on these tasks or how do you manage these tasks will define your overall performance. So if we have to define a task specifically, we will say that it's a specific piece of work which needs to be done. Okay. Normally, every task will have a purpose and it has to be completed in a certain amount of time. So, for example, replying to a customer ticket, sending a report, troubleshooting an issue, all these things becomes a task. So, if any particular activity has a clear goal and has a clear result and has a clear timeline to it, it becomes a task. So now why it matters, right? So first and foremost, if you are someone who is able to manage the tasks well, now one more important thing is that at any given point of time, you as a person might have multiple tasks in hand. Okay, so in a normal professional work scenario, it is not like someone will just come and give you one work to do and that's it. Maybe that is true in the initial phase, but once you become a part of the team, then you will get multiple tasks and multiple sources can be there, right? So something can be coming from your day-to-day work, or as we call it, business as usual. So you are a customer support executive or technical support executive, you will get some tickets to work on, some customer issues to work on. Then there can be certain tasks that your team manager can give you, right? An important customer call has come, escalation has happened, or certain activity has to be performed and your team member is not there. So even those kind of things will come your way as tasks, right? So if you are someone who can manage these tasks well, then one, you first of all reduce the stress. Okay, uh, you will be someone who can meet the deadlines without last minute panic, right? Even your personal work, your personal life, right? As we discussed in the last slide, that it's not just about your professional work, it's your personal life also. You might have certain activities that you have to do for your personal work, right? So if you have managed your time well and now you are managing your tasks well, so you will be able to get time for your personal tasks also, because you would have planned everything in advance. Okay. And uh, there will be certain urgent responsibilities and there will be certain long-term things that you have to do. The Q2s, as we discussed last time. So suppose if you have to take a 1 hour class on upgrading your skills, and then you have some urgent tasks coming, then how do you manage them? So a person who is able to manage tasks well will be able to find that 1 hour for himself or herself. So this is why task management is very important. Uh, just a personal touch is most of the problems that people or employees or engineers face or team members face is when they are not able to handle the task well. There are situations where uh, you have a customer issue on which you are working and you have spent too much time on it, right? Just exceeded all the timelines that were there, and you were not even taking any action because you don't know what to do and you are just sitting there. Other things are that people forget what has to be done, right? So they had to complete a certain thing, but it just slipped from their mind. Uh, or you forgot to do certain thing, you don't know the technical steps to do certain thing, and you are not able to even take help from people and complete those things. So in all these scenarios, what happens is there is a backlog created, first of all. Second, because of the timelines are missed, people start, the keyword is escalating here. Your customers, if your team manager is there, he will become annoyed. So all these problems come because people don't manage their tasks well. It is so important when you are in a professional life. So how do you go about managing the task, right? So first of all, there has to be clarity on what has to be done, right? This is a result of your experience, your knowledge. Uh, in your professional life, things will not come like, please run the command PWD. That will not be the problem that you will face, right? The problem will be something is not working, and now you have to figure out what commands you have to run, what tools you have to use, and so on. So, but first thing is have a clarity on what needs to be done, right? Second thing is prioritization, right? So something which is more important, which is have a more impact, has to be done first, and as compared to something which is less important or trivial. A lot of times we have seen that we as human beings try to pick easy things to do, right? So when we simply are picking easy things to do, we normally skip, or we normally we normally ignore, knowingly ignore difficult things or important things, which is wrong, right? So if a problem is very small, your customer will wait for 2 days, 3 days, even for that. If the problem is big, if the impact is more, then your customers or your team members are expecting it to be done in a short span of time. But because of the difficulty, suppose you just start choosing the easier things, the trivial things, maybe you will be saying that, okay, I am doing some task, but it will have a negative impact on everything. So prioritization is important. For prioritization, you need to understand the importance, you need to understand the urgency, you need to understand the impact of that particular item. When the task is complex, you have to break it down. Okay. So something which is very complex, which will need more time to complete, it has to be broken down into simple things so that you can then target them one by one. And finally, what you need to do is at the end of the day, you have to track and close them. So something that has been done should be properly closed. Okay, along with whatever steps are needed to close it. Maybe you have to call the other person and confirm from them that okay, this thing has been done, or otherwise. But if you just do something and don't resolve it or close it, then again it is a problem. So when we talk about a task, there is a life cycle associated with it. Generally, this life cycle is, first of all, it is assigned. So the task actually comes to you. It is someone becomes responsible for it. Then you have to go through a clarification phase. You read about the task, you understand what needs to be done, whatever doubts you have in your mind, you clarify them. Okay. So unless you do this, you can be going in the wrong direction. Again, this is a very common thing that happens, that we start troubleshooting problems and not understanding what the exactly issue is. So it causes two problems. One, our direction goes wrong. So as it is said that there are two things, right? There's a one thing called compass and there's one thing called clock, right? So clock measures your efficiency and compass measures your effectiveness. So if you are running in the wrong direction, even if you are running very fast, you might have a good lap time. But the problem is that you are not running in the direction that you were required to run. So basically you are 0% effective or negatively effective. So clarification of a task tells you that, okay, what is the direction in which you go? And then you can decide how fast you want to go. Planned, it has to be planned. So once you know what needs to be done, then you have to plan it. What things will be needed, how much time will be needed, how I will approach it, and so on. Now, for a smaller work, this plan can be completely in your mind. For a more complex work, it can be on a piece of paper, and for a largely complex thing, it can be a proper document. And in this plan, you will also try to break down the steps. Okay, first I will do A, B, C, D, E, and then this task will be done. After planning, you have to execute or you have to do what you need to do. Okay, here maybe it is about checking something, about running a document command. A task can be as simple as writing an email, okay, or sending a report to a customer. It can be that also. It does need not always be a technical thing. In fact, initial part of your career, you will get a lot of work where you are doing this hand-holding type of work. Then you have to update. So whosoever are the parties to this task, they have to be updated that what is the progress. So suppose if your manager has said that, okay, this work has to be completed by 5 p.m., then at least every hour you have to update him that I have understood the problem. I have decided I will do it like this. Now I am doing this. The work is going on smoothly and so on. If you keep the other party who is the other party of that task updated, uh, then they will feel good about it. First of all, yes, they will have the updates. They don't have to come to you for updates. This is one of the other major problem area when uh, your customers don't get update what is happening. Okay, and finally, when it is everything is done, you have to check it, review it, deliver it, take a confirmation on it, and mark it as done. So this is what you understand by the life cycle of a task. So now we discuss about what kind of uh, tools or methods you can use to turn your priorities into actions. Okay, so how do you act upon it, and what things you can use to act upon it? Okay, so the first thing that is very commonly known as WBS. Okay, so WBS is nothing but work breakdown structure. So where you have a larger task or a larger goal or a larger objective, and then you try to break it down into smaller doable items. So for example, if you have to planning a vacation, right? So this can be, or I should name, not a planning a family vacation, or so, for example, now we are talking about executing a family vacation, right? So when you do it, you have to break that item into multiple smaller tasks, right? So like picking up a destination, booking the travel, arranging the stay, planning the activities, packing the bags. Now these are all doable activities. So first part was the in the last presentation, if you remember, when you talk about uh, your your mind maps, right? There we were talking about thinking aloud. There we were thinking about if I have to go on a vacation, then what all I have to be done, right? But now suppose that part is done and now it is about concrete execution. So the first thing you know that you have to book the tickets, right? You have to book the hotel, right? You have to decide at what time who will leave. You have to decide what activities we will do there, right? And obviously who will pack the bags, who will what items to put in it. So all these things then you have become key actionables. So you have to break it down into all those small actionables, and then you have to execute it. So one by one, or maybe if you're 5 people, 7 people, 8 people, each people can pick up one smaller task and do it. So for example, Ashton can be booking the flight tickets. Sheikh Saif can be booking the hotels, right? Uh, Someone else might be preparing a checklist of items that have to be kept in the bag, and so on. So once you do this WBS, one, yes, you have smaller actionables. So each actionable will have a easy outcome. So booking the ticket, so tickets are booked, done. So it is easy. Secondly, all these smaller actionables can also be assigned to people around you, or multiple people can work on the same thing. And if you are maintaining it properly, that what is the state, what is the status, and then it is good to go. You will not miss out on things, right? If you will keep everything in your mind and just do as it is, then it is a very high chance that you will be missing out on certain items. You will be doing certain items incorrectly, and everything will be a chaos. So why use WBS? It avoids overwhelm and makes progress measurable. Okay, so very important. Um so obviously there is one more tool that you might all have used before, that is called a to-do list. We can call it a checklist. There are multiple tools available, um, where you can create this to-do list. You can make it on paper. You can use Google Task, Notion, to-do list. On your mobile apps, you will find multiple tools to be there, right? Which actually are kind of these uh, listing tools, right? So you can use either one of them, not a problem. But idea is the same, that we have certain things that we have to do. Uh, we put them. So, okay, so what is the best way of using to-do list, right? So every morning when you wake up, you prepare your to-do list. Out of that, you keep three most important things. Okay, first of all, do all those three things, and then you move to the next list and so on, right? You can also if you want, you can estimate time also for it, so that if one to-do list is very uh, time consuming, then you know that you will have less time for finishing it, right? Now, to-do list is not your overall plan, right? Last time we discussed that if we are using proper Eisenhower metrics, right, and we have blocked our calendar, so we have already said that on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I have to visit a doctor. So this we had decided the last week itself. Now this becomes your part of your to-do list, but this is already blocked. So it is not like only in a very urgent scenario you can modify that part. So in your priorities, you will have that item that, okay, I have to visit a doctor, and it will be already in your top three. Okay. Otherwise, you can just create this list, and this keeps on updating, right? So a to-do list, every morning you create it, you will carry forward certain items from the last day. Some people also recommend that you review this to-do list at the evening, at the end of the day. That is also possible. And the idea is that you just, whatever you task you complete, and you just tick mark on it. So again, it is a very good way of remembering what has to be done. It might sound very trivial that you will remember things, but it doesn't happen, because as we have said, if you remember the Eisenhower matrix part, the Q1, right? The Q1 are those things which are urgent, right? Which just come, and they're important also. So if you don't have this to-do list, you will keep on getting some new things, new things on your plate, and your main to-do list of the day will get uh, uh, basically ignored, which is not good. So this work pressure then piles up every day. So instead of doing some planned work, the next day you will be getting someone to call you and say that this has not been done yet. So this becomes a burden, this becomes a stress, this becomes an escalation against you. So if you want to ensure that these things are not happening, the important things are not left behind, then you must do this. So now what we come to is that the next part is that there is a task management tools also available, right? So in industry, we normally these are known as ticketing tools or incident management tools and so on. Okay. So as we already said, for personal, you can use Google Keep, Notion, Microsoft To Do. In fact, on your Gmail, you also get something called uh, list, right? So if you will open your Gmail, you will be able to create your list over there also. Okay, and same thing is possible. So I will just try to show it to you once. Now you can see this now. So this is my task list, right? So here I can add a task. Okay. So again, I can put time to it. I can add it to my calendar if I want. I can mark it as done whenever it is done. And here we have got something concept of task list also. So I can create different task lists. I can create personal. I can add up. I can create one more like office and so on. So this tool is available over here also. The other tool that we have, this is called your tasks tool. We also have something called Google Keep, where you can actually create tasks to be done. And here, if you will see, I can write task one, task two. If you want to use it like this, you can do this like this and can keep a track of it, right? So I can open it here, then I will have some more options. We can see that here I've got all these options available. Show tick boxes, right? So it will become my task list. I can also add a drawing to it, label to it, whatever I want. Okay. So you can use any of these as you want. When you are working in a official setup, then apart from these, you will have your calendars. Calendars we have discussed. So Google Calendar is there. So we have already seen it, but I will just show it to you again. So from here, you can actually open your calendar. Right, and here I can block the, so this is how we do it. So if I have anything, I can put it here. Visit uh, doctor maybe. So this can be my personal thing. I can tag it in a different colors also, right, and so on. And similarly, I can block my time for everything if you want. So even calendars can be used. Calendars in professional setups have got a lot of relevance because now you will have different guests in your professional environment. People will be able to see you whether you are busy. So I can see others' calendar also. I can share my calendar with people, and they will be able to see whether I'm working or I'm busy. So that accordingly they will plan meetings and everything. So this is something that you will learn once you are on job. But calendars have some more relevance also. Your to-do list, etc., becomes your personal thing. But once you start putting things on professional calendars, then those calendars becomes a part of your collaboration. So it is very important. Now, apart from these, you will not just simply get your tasks in your professional setup as emails or someone commenting on chat, right? What actually happens is that in organizations, people do use these kind of different task management tools. You can say these are task management tools, project management tools, ticketing tools, incident management tools. So all these names are there. Uh, all these tools have a capability of assigning work to others. Okay, so as we saw during the documentation part, that I could assign a part of document to you, right? If you remember it, when we were discussing collaboration, I could simply say that assign this work to so at the rate Ashton, complete this. So this is also a task that is coming to you. Okay, but in these tools, what happens? You are actually given a proper way of viewing your task. So instead of I simply tagging you on a Google document, I will create a task for you using any of these tools, and that task will be assigned to you. So suppose I will just show this to you. Suppose this is my internal group, right, where I am doing something. So here also you can see there is something called task. Okay, I can create a task over here that okay, complete presentation, and I can assign this task to my internal work team, right? Like this. I can set a time also. So my Upspir admin, so what this says is that Upspir admin has to complete certain presentation by 18:30 p.m. today, right? So this is one way of Gmail which has implemented it. This same thing is implemented on different tools also, where you will actually get a ticket or a task in your tool, and from there you will have to manage its entire life cycle. Okay, so this is something that we will discuss when we will be discussing customer handling skills. We will have a small view of ticketing system at that time. Now, the idea is that once you have a task in hand, right, then what? So the next thing that becomes is uh, you need to track those progress of the activity. Okay. So obviously you are reviewing your tasks daily and weekly, and you have to keep a record, right? So as we said that you have a to-do list, you are doing it. So if you review it, what is done, what is not done, what is completed, what is pending, right? If something is blocked, then who can help me unblock it, right? If I am stuck somewhere, then you will find someone uh, uh, to manage it out, right? So normally again, when you are handling the professional tasks, the official tasks, there the updates become very important. Okay, so if you are not updating the task over there, then you will definitely face a lot of problems in your work. Uh, but otherwise also, if you feel that okay, you wanted to do something for yourself and you are not able to do it, maybe you are learning some new language, you're learning some new skill, then you will find out who is the best person who can help me in it. Maybe my teacher, maybe my colleague, maybe my friend, and you will try to find them out. So having this proper to-do list and tracking this to-do list will keep you updated that where do you stand. So as I've said about closing the task, uh, a task is only complete when you have delivered the output, it has been checked and reviewed. So this I was discussing earlier, a very common problem that people do is uh, that you have just simply assumed that the work has been done, okay, which is very wrong, which can lead to multiple scenarios. Say, for example, you solve the problem for a customer, you assume the problem is solved, and you just simply close the ticket or the task. After some time, customer checked it and it found that it is not yet done. So it becomes a very big problem for everyone. The customer will call your manager or your senior people. They will say that you are not working well, you did not bother, you don't care, you don't have empathy. So all those problems will come your way. So always know that a task has been done when you have delivered it and the other person has reviewed, checked it, and give you a feedback. So just to recap, tasks will exist both in your work and life. Always make sure to break a big task into a smaller steps. Track your progress daily, uh, and always close the task properly to avoid rework. So if you keep on doing it, it will help you to have a better professional image. It will help you to get a better result at work. Someone who is a good task manager will be perceived by his seniors as a future potential, right? Where people will see you as a responsible person, as a person to whom complex things and difficult things can be assigned to, and that is going to open your way towards the senior positions in the team, apart from your technical skills, right? So this is one of the most important aspect.